Yeah, hi Tim. So today we can start the installation of Postgres cluster. Okay, so in the last previous session, we have seen how to install a Linux, right, on the virtual box. So today we can see how to configure Postgres. So we have installed the Linux on the top of the virtual box, right?
Yeah, Suresh, maybe we can wait for 1 more minute for Gopi. Gopi, you asked one question. Yeah. The question is related to postmaster process and backend process and background worker process. Okay. So here, the postmaster process, what it will do, it will perform all the authentication and authorization check for the user connection. Okay, once the user authentication is completed, then it will allocate, the postmaster process will allocate backend process to the particular user connection. Here, directly or indirectly, the number of connections, is managed by max underscore connection parameter. Okay, it means how many connections are coming, how many connections are allowing into PostgreSQL cluster. Okay, so each connection, each background process. Okay, these number of connections we are able to manage and we are able to control with help of max underscore connection parameter. So I think this point is clear for you, right, Gopi?
Yeah, Raj.
Okay, yeah. Next one is once the backend process is started or allocated by postmaster process. Okay, so the query is coming from the user. Okay, the query related execution. Okay, the query related execution and picking or searching from the shared memory. Okay, everything is taken care by backend process. Okay, so related to query execution. Okay, related to query execution from 9.6 onwards, we have the background worker process to achieve the parallelism in PostgreSQL. Okay, so see this maximum background process. Okay, the maximum background process will be allocated dynamically. Okay, with help of execution plan by optimizer, but the limit of the maximum background worker process for the entire PostgreSQL cluster, that is depending on the max underscore worker process. Okay, by default the value is 8, but as per your requirement, as per your available resources, it means based on your system configuration, you can allocate maximum background worker process to your PostgreSQL database cluster. Hope I think it is clear for your question.
Yeah, that is clear, Raj. But the backend process parameter is the work underscore memory, right? The backend worker process is the max underscore worker underscore process. The default value is 8, and we can increase it and we can make it 0 also. That I can understand. But
no. Actually, here the mistake. Okay. So backend process connections is controlled by directly or indirectly with the help of max underscore connection parameter. Okay, there is no backend worker process that we can call it as a background worker process.
Then what is the parameter for work underscore memory? What is that about?
See, work underscore memory. This is a virtual memory. We can call it as, or maybe it is a local virtual memory. Okay, this memory will be allocated. Okay, this memory will be allocated to each backend process. Okay, based on the work underscore memory parameter and also based on the amount of work is doing by the backend process.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah, thanks, Raj.
No problem. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So we have completed the installation of Linux on the top of VirtualBox. So we have seen that in the last session. Now we are going to install the Postgres binaries on the top of this Linux, right? So in the current market, actually, as we know, we have different kinds of editions. So one is community edition, enterprise edition, and even some cloud vendors, they are providing the Postgres cluster, Postgres database as a service, right? So as being a community is a free, we can directly go to the community website and we can download and we can use this. So we don't need to pay any money. But we also have the enterprise edition, which is licensed. So the enterprise edition is managed by EDB. Okay, so EDB company, they have took the source code of community edition and they have added features to it, like Oracle compatibility features, and they have added their own tools, okay, in terms of replication, monitoring, and so on. Okay, so we need to pay for them because this is enterprise edition, and most of the cloud vendors also providing the Postgres, right? So here we have to pay only for resources. We don't need to pay for Postgres software, right? But even each cloud vendor, they have their own database flavor, Postgres database flavor. We need to pay for this. Okay, so like Amazon have Aurora Postgres, and even GCP have AllyDB. Okay, these are again licensed. Okay, but the free community edition, which they have given as a service, we need to only pay for resources, not for the Postgres.
Okay, so I hope it is clear for you guys, right? So we discussed about the two topics here, even related to cloud vendors. Okay, so in cloud vendors, the community flavor or the traditional flavor of the vanilla flavor of Postgres SQL is, if you think about the Amazon, so Amazon having the like RDS, okay, it is like one type of service from Amazon, okay, AWS. On top of the RDS, we have the Postgres SQL. Okay, that we can call it as a vanilla flavor of Postgres SQL. So they added some like very basic functionalities from Amazon. But if you see Amazon Aurora having, okay, so some rich functionalities compared to traditional RDBMS Postgres SQL. Sorry, traditional RDS Postgres SQL. Similarly, in Google also, the Google, we have the Cloud SQL. Okay, it is containing the traditional flavor of the Postgres SQL, and also we have the like advanced flavor of the Postgres SQL in Google, that is the AllyDB. Okay, so in AllyDB and Aurora, it is like it is having the rich functionalities developed by the, suppose if you think about Aurora, the functionality is developed by Amazon. Okay, if you think about the AllyDB, okay, the rich functionality is developed by Google. So that's why if you see the cost differences between the traditional, okay, the cost differences between the traditional Postgres SQL database, even on cloud also, okay. So RDS Postgres SQL and Aurora Postgres, if you see Aurora Postgres SQL, if you're opting, we need to pay extra. Means we need to like the license number, the cost or support cost. It is like little bit extra. Even in AllyDB and Cloud SQL Postgres SQL also, AllyDB, for if you opt for AllyDB, okay, so you need to pay extra for Google.
Yeah. So now when coming to installation part, so if you want to install the post, because in our entire course, we are going with community edition, right? And on the Linux, right? So to install the community edition, we have three methods. Okay, the first method is source installation, second is the M installation, and RPM installation. So in the source installation, see the M installation, first let's discuss about the M installation. M installation is directly we can from online, okay, with the help of M utility, we can directly download the package in our Linux and we can install. So this is just a simple one command, okay. So you have to just download the repository, so repository of your Postgres from community, and from that repository you can download this package in just a single step, okay. So when you do this M installation, it also install all your dependency packages which are required for Postgres cluster, and along with the predefined package installation. Okay, this we can say it's a very simple method. Okay, but when you come to source installation and RPM installation, we have to, the DBA has to install manually all the dependency packages, and DBA has to configure all settings for this Postgres cluster. Okay. So we'll see what are the dependent packages we need to install this Postgres. Okay. The first is GCC. Okay. So GCC is the package, one of the prerequisite package which we need to configure the cluster, Postgres cluster or Postgres binaries. Okay. Because GCC it's a compiler. Okay. Postgres is basically developed by C language. Okay. If you want to compile the C binaries packages, you need this GCC package. Okay. And second is we need readline. So readline is one of the package which helps us to have a features like if you want to get any history of the SQL queries, okay, in the prompt, or if you want to get a features like whatever the query which you have executed in the pSQL prompt, the previous queries you want, right? So those kind of features you will get, but this is not a mandatory, but it's good to have it. Okay. Otherwise, every time you have to type it. So we'll see practically also the importance of this readline. Okay. This readline package. And third is we need a package called make. Okay. So this make is very important because if you want to compile your C language code, okay, you need this make utility in the Linux. Okay. And fourth, we need zlib. Okay. So only mandatory is GCC and make are the two mandatory packages. Readline and zlib is not mandatory. Okay. So readline is to support some of the historical kind of functionalities to your queries. Okay. And zlib is to support your compression. Whenever you take any backup or whenever you are taking the logical backup, okay, you will get you are using the OS zlib and you are compressing the dumps. Okay. For this purpose only you need this. So the second one and fourth one is not mandatory, but it's good to have. Okay. But first and third packages are very important. Okay. To install. So these four pre-packages or we can consider as a prerequisites to install your Postgres binaries. Okay. So let's go and do first source installation, how we can do it. Okay. And then we can go with M installation and RPM installation. Okay. So whenever you have installed your virtual box, okay, if you just open, you can just open the terminal and then you can just take the IP of this machine to connect from outside world. Okay, for example, I can just take this IP from ifconfig, okay, and I can just fetch the IP address, Ethernet IP address. Okay, this is my IP address 192.168.1.24. So by using this IP, I can connect from any outside world. I mean, from PuTTY or Mobix, from even you can use pgadmin. So whatever it may be. Okay. So I have taken the IP. Okay, I have taken the IP address of this, and I can connect from PuTTY or Mobix, from whatever it may be, whatever I need, I can connect. So 192.168.1.24. So this is my IP. Okay. And you know, when we configure the So when we install the Linux, we have given the root password, right? If you remember. So the same password we have to use here. Okay. So you can just increase the settings to bigger so that it's easy. Okay. Now, so I have direct. So I'm going with source installation. Okay. First, you can just go to postgresql.org. Okay. This is the website. You can directly go to downloads here. And here you could see this package, this Postgres is available for multiple flavors. Okay. Ours is Linux, right? So I'm just going to Linux. and Red Hat Linux. Okay. And here you can select the whatever flavor you need. This is for M installation. Okay. Currently we are going with the source installation. Okay. You don't need to even choose the Linux flavor and all. So here you have source, right? You could see here left hand side you have a source. So you can just go to the source and whatever flavor you need. Okay. For example, I'm going with latest 15.6. Okay. Even we have 16, but in the 15.6 is the latest. Okay, I can just go to the 15.6 and here you can choose whatever format you need. So I'm just going with ZZ, whatever the file which has in the tab, okay, the ZZ. You can just right click on this and copy the link address, okay, and you can directly download in the machine. So how we can download this package from online? So we can download with the help of wget, okay. You can just give wget and this software, okay, it will download in this machine. So hope you know about the wget, right? So if you want to download any package from internet, you need this wget package, and with the help of wget you can download this software, Postgres software. Okay. So I already have this package. So I already have this package in downloads, okay, so which I already downloaded. So this is my package, okay, and you can just unzip this package. So first let me do gunzip because it is in the ZZip format, okay, so you can just do gunzip. And then you can, okay, so as a part of installation, I have some scripts, okay, that will do this, unzip command. Okay, don't worry about it. So before we go to the installation, first, I would like to explain what is GCC packages and how to compile a C language, okay, and what is the use of make, and we also have makefile. So what is the importance of makefile? Okay, for example, so I have a small C program, okay, which is hello.c. Okay, so if I run this C program, what output I will get? Just it will display hello world. Okay, so if I want to compile this C program, how I can compile? So usually C program will save with .c, right? In Linux, if you want to compile this C language program, so how I can compile? I need to have GCC. Okay, so GCC is the package which compiles your C program. Okay, so with the help of GCC and the C program, -o output file. So I want to, compile this file with this binary file. Okay, hello.o. Okay, now this has been compiled. Okay, now I want to run this program. So if you see, it has generated a binary file because at the compilation time I have provided this is my binary file. Now I need to run this binary file. Just give /hello.o. Okay, so it will display hello world. So this is how you can compile in Linux. Okay, so why I'm explaining these things is because your Postgres binaries is also developed by C language. Okay, if you want to compile all those C language code, you need this GCC package. That's why this is mandatory package which required for us, okay, to as a part of the installation. Now, for example, since I have only one program, C program, I can compile easily, right? But if I have some thousands of programs, because this package contains like thousands of programs. So if I want to execute this all thousands of programs, C programs, then how I can do it? So we have a file called makefile. Okay, so this makefile, in this makefile, we can define all the programs and we can define what programs we need to compile and what programs we need to run. Okay, So for example, in Makefile, we have two components. One is all, okay, and other is install. So what is this all? Okay, in all, we have to give whatever the programs which we need to compile. For example, in our case, our program is hello.c, okay, and output file is hello.o. Okay, this is my compilation of my program, right? And let me give the run, how to run this program. Okay, hello.o. Okay, so like this, I have a Makefile. I can just define whatever programs I need to run. If I have like thousands of programs, I have all thousands of programs, and in the install, I will just run this. Okay. So to run this Makefile, we need package called make. Okay. Okay, let me remove the previous executor file, and let's run from the make command. Okay. So when I do make, what it will do, whatever the Makefile which we have defined, it will just compile. Okay. And when I do make install, it will run the C program actually. So okay, let me do the make. So when I do make, it has generated a binary file. Okay. Here it generated a binary file. When I do make install, it will execute the program and it displays the hello world. Okay. So this is how you have to compile the programs. So why I explain these things is because this is out of scope, but still we just need to understand what is the importance of GCC and what is the importance of Makefile and why we need this make and make install components. Okay. Now you will see while installing our Postgres binaries, okay, you will see all these kind of things. Okay, let's go with the installation. So up to here, any doubts? So far, what we discussed, we have just downloaded the source code from the postgres.org. Okay, with the wget, I have just downloaded in my machine, and I have just unzipped this. Unzip means I have just gunzip this because it is in ZZ format. Okay, now let's see the installation steps. Okay, so I have a couple of scripts here for installation. In the first script, what I'm doing, I'm just creating a user Postgres, okay, and I'm assigning this path for this user, and I'm setting the password for this user. Okay, so Postgres, this is the password for this user. Okay, and I'm creating this directory. This directory I need for binaries. Okay, so you need two directories basically when you install the Postgres cluster. Let me explain. So now what we are doing, we are installing with the source method. In the source method, you can directly download the source code from Postgres community, okay, and you can install. So first task what we are doing, we are creating the Postgres user, okay, and you are giving the password for this user, okay, and then you are creating necessary directories for your Postgres cluster. Okay, what directories we need actually? The first directory which we need is the binary location. So the binary location is your software location. Okay, and the second directory we need is data directory. So what is a data directory? All your data files, control file, all your configuration files, all your wall files will reside under the data directory. Okay, you need to create these two directories. Okay, binary directory is your software, your Postgres software location, and your data directory is all your data files, control files, wall files, configuration files resides under this directory. Okay, for this I have made a small script. I'm adding a user Postgres and home Postgres is the directory which I'm using for binaries. Okay. And I'm also creating one more directory called pgdata15 main. This is my data directory, okay, which resides all my data files, configuration files, and so on. And I'm granting necessary permissions to this directory. Okay, I'm changing the ownership and I'm granting permission to the PG data. Any questions in this script?
777 is needed for PG data.
No, not needed. Actually, 755 is needed, but I'm just granting 777. So basically, as a part of your installation, again, it will change. It will change to 755.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. That's even you can grant 755 as well. Okay, it's not needed for PG data 777. Okay. So now I'm just executing this script. Okay, it will just create the user Postgres and it will allocate a password to this and it will create the necessary directories for PG data and grant the necessary permissions. Okay, I'm just executing this script. Okay, so password has been updated and if you see, okay, this directory has been created. Okay, this directory is empty right now. And even if you see, this directory has been created and for this directory only is Postgres. Okay, so this directory also created. Any questions so far?
If you have a two node like active and passive, then we have to follow these steps for both the node, right?
Yes, correct. Okay, in the second step, what I'm doing, I have already downloaded my software. Okay, in this location, I have this software. Okay, ZZ. Okay, so I will just give. I have already unzipped it, right? So we don't need .czip here. Okay, in the second script, what we are doing, I have my source code here in the downloads, which we have already downloaded with the help of wget, and this I'm going to unzip with the tar command. Okay, so once I unzipped, as discussed, I'm going to create the necessary prerequisite packages. I'm going to install this. Okay, install make is important. GCC is one of the important, and as discussed, read line is for to support your history of your or some kind of pSQL SQL queries functionalities you will get. So that functionalities I will discuss once the installation done, how it helps. And OpenSSL. So OpenSSL is one of the package, Linux package, which helps you to configure your software in SSL mode. Okay, so for now we are not going to configure our Postgres in SSL configuration because this we'll discuss in the security class. Okay, but you can just install this package and keep it ready before we go to the security classes. Okay, so that time we will discuss how to configure your Postgres cluster with secure way by using OpenSSL package. Okay, that we'll discuss. But you can just try to install. For now, we are not going the installation with OpenSSL method. Okay. And one more package is zlib. Okay, zlib is also help you to whenever you are taking any backup with compression or you have different compression algorithms. Okay, this package will help you in terms of taking your backup in compression. Okay, as discussed, this is not mandatory. These three packages is not mandatory, but this two is much needed. Okay, and there is one more package called contrib. Okay, so what is contrib module? Okay, we have separate module itself in our course called extensions. Okay, when you install this package, by default you will get few extensions. That extensions is nothing but it's a software. Okay, it's an external software which you are going to use to it's external features. Okay, which you are going to use in your cluster. So don't worry about this. We will also have a separate module on this. Okay. So in the second script, what I'm doing, I have just unzip and install the necessary packages. Okay, and then I'm going to create this directory for binaries. I already created home Postgres. Inside this, I'm also creating bin PG SQL 15 for the PG home. Okay, PG home means for binaries. Okay, and I'm granting the necessary permission and changing the owner. So only that thing I'm doing in the second script. Any questions before I run this script? Okay, so I'm just executing this.
Banu, you're trying to ask something. I think yesterday also your voice is not coming.
Okay, I'm just running the second script. So currently it is doing unzip, okay, of the package. So after unzip, we'll see what what files we will get. So currently it is installing all our packages, okay, readline packages and its dependencies, okay, GCC package, and we also have zlib and so on, right? So currently what we are doing, first in the first script, we have created the Postgres user and password we have allocated. We have created necessary directories and we have granted permissions to these directories. Okay, that is the first script. Second script, what I'm doing, I'm going to unzip my software and installing all necessary packages. Okay, and I have so up to here clear, right? So after unzipping necessary packages, we'll see what happens. Okay, so now my second script is done. So when you do the second script, okay, after you do the second script, in the second script we have mentioned to unzip, right? If you go to downloads location, and if you just do ls-ltr, so you could see one file is already unzipped, right? If you go inside this file, you have these files, right? So you could see there is one file called make file. So what is this make file? So this make file consists of all your source code compilation and so as discussed, like in the make file, it has, even if you just see the cat of this file, it is coming from Postgres. After you just unzip, no, it is coming the make file like this. Okay, in the make file, if you see, this is the make file, okay, which came as a part of your binaries, right? So in the make file, what they did, you see here section all, right? In this section all, they have mentioned all the instructions to compile of your C programs, okay? And also you could see here make, okay? They have used make to compile all these things. Okay, so that we will do, okay, don't worry. Now we have a file called install. Okay, you can treat like this file as a readme file. Okay, so this install file will have all instructions how to install your binaries. Okay, if you go here, or even let me do VA. So this is the installation steps. So once you unzip, you will get a file called configure. You can just configure this and you can run the make install. After you do make install, this we already did. Okay, this we already created whatever directories which we need. Okay, and we are going to initialize the cluster. Okay, and we are going to start the cluster. Okay, this all steps we are going to do one by one. Okay, so usually this file will contain all the instructions how to build a cluster, Postgres cluster. Okay, and you could see here there is a file called config. So if you just do -help, configure -help, okay, it will give all options. So basically what is this configure file? When you run this -configure, it will just do all the pre-checks of before you do the installation. Okay, so this file have multiple options. Okay, so let me explain like important options. Here you have hyphen prefix. So what is this prefix? Where whatever the location where you want to install the binaries. Okay, by default, if you not mention this, it will go to USR local PCP. Okay, if you mention wherever you need. In our case, we have created a separate path like home Postgres PG SQL 15, right? I can point out my path to this by using this option. Okay, and we also have multiple options here. Okay, so yeah, if you see here, the default block size is 8 kilobytes, right? Your page block size is 8 kilobytes, as we know. So if you want to change the block size, you have to define with this parameter. Okay, and even if you see the wall segment size is 1 GB by default. Okay, if you want to change, you have to define here. So once you build your cluster, you cannot change the block size and you cannot change the wall size. Okay, so before you build a cluster only, you have to define all this. Okay, so but it's not recommended to go with different block size and different wall size. Okay, it's always good to have the same configuration. Okay, so now let's go to our script, what it is doing in the third script. Home Skype scripts. So third script, let's open the third script, what it is doing. So in the third script, as I told, it is doing -help configure help, which we already did. Okay, now here in the configure, I have mentioned prefix option, this path, which means this is my binary path. Okay, and currently I'm not going with SSL. Okay, I mean, even though if I mention with OpenSSL, it will read the package, but while after installation, okay, I'm not using this OpenSSL option. Okay, for now, I'm just using with OpenSSL option for now, because when you do with OpenSSL, your Postgres binaries, it will use this OpenSSL package, okay, for security purpose. Okay, even if you not mentioned now, no worries. Anyhow, we are discussing this particular thing in the security class. Okay, for now, important is -configure prefix and this path. This is my binary path, and now I'm doing make and make install. So why I need to do make? If you want to compile, as we have seen one example, if you want to compile any C program, you have to use make. Okay, in the make, what it will do, basically, it will just compile, okay, all your C programs, and in the make install, it will actually run your programs. Okay, so that we'll see in the third script. So I'm just executing the third script. So -configure will do all your pre-checks, which means it will check all your prerequisites are met or not. Like if you not have any GCC package, or if you don't have any make package, this configure will get failed. Okay, so it will do the pre-checks. In the make, it will do the compile of all your C programs, and in the make install, it will run your all C programs. Okay, so I'm just going and executing the third script. Any questions here? Okay. So in the third script, what we did, we have configured. Configure is, it will do the pre-checks, whether all is required or not, match or not. Okay, and we are also doing make and make install. So on which basis, on which instructions it will do make and make install, we have seen one file called make file, right? So as a part of your Postgres, when you unzip, you see one make file, right? So that make file has some set of instructions. Based on that set of instructions, it will do make and make install. Okay. Now currently it is doing all your pre-checks. See, all GCC packages installed on it. Now if you see, it is compiling now. Okay. GCC hyphen and the programs .c programs, you could see, right? So it is currently doing compiling of your source code. In the make install, it will run actually. So indirectly where it is picking, in the downloads, there is a folder called source. If you see here clearly, it is telling in the source, all folders it is going to compile. Let me explain in another session what it is doing. We go to home, oops, downloads. Okay, so in the downloads, I have this unzip path. Here, we know what this configure will do. So internally, I have a make file. Okay, so based on this make file, make and make install will compile everything. So in the make file, what they have defined, we have a folder called source, src. Okay. So inside this source code, we have so many folders. Okay. Each folder have all programs. For example, if I go to backend, in the backend, if I go to Postmaster, for example, so Postmaster have this all C programs. So what is, if you are good in a C program, you can just cat this Postmaster, what this Postmaster is doing. And if you want to check BG writer background process, the internal logic, okay, you can just cat this BG writer, what it is doing, at what frequency it will run, what is the task of BG writer, and you have auto vacuum. So what frequency auto vacuum will run. All the set of instructions will be in the C program. Okay, you can just cat and you can see. Okay, if you are good at C program, you can just go and review all the functions and exactly what it is doing. Okay. So it is doing all the source code compilation, whatever we have seen these programs. Okay, these all programs in the source folder, it is compiling now. Okay, and it will install as well with the help of make and make install. So whatever instructions they have provided in the make file, it is doing. That's it. See now source backend nodes. Okay, it is doing copy function .c make function. There are so many C programs it is compiling. So far, any questions? We have just downloaded the source code from postgres.org. We have created necessary prerequisites, like we have added a Postgres user because owner is Postgres, right? We have to allocate owner as a Postgres for these binaries. And we have created password necessary directories. Okay, we need two directories, bin and data. One is for binaries, one is for your data files or control files and so on, right? We'll see what files we have in the data. And we have unzipped the package and we just did /configure. It will do all pre-checks. once we do configure, we are doing make and make install. This is in the thought script currently which we are going to do.
Abhi, Dharani, Gopi, Malati, Shiva. Guys, you guys are here only, right? I think Banu having some issue with the mic. Microphone. Yes, Malati, any
Yes,
doubts?
Sriraj. Yes. Just following through. One doubt I have here is you said bin and data folders that are needed. Are they for the data files or
Yeah,
the
actually,
data folder is that for the data files when we create the database?
Here,
exactly.
actually, yeah, here actually, yes, in Oracle, if we see the data folder, we can keep almost like data files only, but in Oracle. But here, the data directory, okay, this directory holding the data files, okay, and all other configuration files, okay, and wall files, okay. What are these files, okay? We will show you, okay.
Okay.
The files inside that particular data directory. Okay, this is the like we can call it as like master directory. Okay, we can call it as this is a like home directory for PostgreSQL.
Okay.
Yeah, we will show you in a very clear way. Then you will get the better understanding. How many folders are there? What is the use of each folder?
Yeah, in the meantime, okay, so for example, if you need any support, so usually community version, I mean, actually this is free, right? So even though it is free, you can get help from community, but not like SLAs. Okay, when you have any issue, you can raise in the community. We have a option called mailing list. Okay, in the mailing list, first of all, you have to register this. You have to register in the community, and then you can have a support here. So you could see here there are some email IDs where you will get general support. Okay, you can just send an email whatever you have, any issues, any technical questions also. Okay, they will reply, but not like it's not like guarantee that they will reply immediately. Okay, they will reply, but it's very slow service. Okay, because this is open source, right? You will not get a quick immediate response, okay, like SLAs. And yeah, in this mail list you can register actually. So here you can go and you can subscribe, okay, and then you will get one email ID. With that they will help you, okay, if you have anything. Okay, it's done. So far in the thought script, what we did, we have checked the pre-checks with the configure, and in the configure you also have different options. Like if you want to point out, if you not mention this option, it will by default it will go to your binary path will go to USR local bin. Okay, I don't want to use USR mount point. I have created my own mount point for binaries. Okay. And I just make install it. It executed all the C programs. Okay. Now in the fourth step, I'm just going to set bash profile. So bash profile, we know, right? So the PG data, I'm going to use this. Okay, if you remember this, we already created, right? And the binary location is this. Postgres home location is this. And this is our data location, which I'm adding as a bash profile. Okay, so this is only one-time task. Okay, I'm just going to add bash profile. Now, let me switch to Postgres user. You can just go and see here in the binary location, you have all this executable files. This is called binaries. Okay, these are all is your Postgres binaries. Okay, even if you just come one step back, so you have include bin, share, lib. Okay, so bin is the main important directory, which is you have like pSQL utility to connect to the Postgres cluster. Okay, and if you want to take the backup, you have pgdump, pgrestore. pgctl is to manage like shutting down the cluster, stop the cluster, checking the status that you can do with pgctl. Okay, and you have so many options which we are going to discuss, in coming. I mean, anyhow, you will be aware of these all things. Okay. For now, let's concentrate on the installation part. Scripts. We have only one script left.
Hello, one question.
Yes, please.
Is this mandatory to install the from root user, because we have already created the Postgres user. From the Postgres user also we can install that?
Yes, we can do that. But the thing is, because
here I can see that root user is the ownership, everything it is user root.
Yes, actually we will change that permission. Actually, when you do initializing the cluster, by default, it will do automatically everything. Okay. Still, we have just what we did. We have just compiled the C program from the root, because the if you have sudo access to root, you don't need to worry. You can directly do sudo. Okay. But if you don't have any sudo permission, then you have to compile. Okay, with root only, right? If you want to install the pre packages, if you want to create the user, if you want to create directories, everything root will have permission, right? But if you have sudo permission to this, then you don't need to worry about it. But anyhow, these permissions will get changed when you initialize the cluster. So far, still we haven't initialized the cluster. So we have just created necessary directories and we have compiled the C programs so that all the executable files will come under the location, like whatever binary location we have. Now we are going to initialize the cluster where we can, okay, let me give permissions. Because the fifth is very important. This we have to do definitely from Postgres user only. Okay, we should not do from root. Okay, so here what we are doing, this is my binary location. In the binary location, you have a utility called initdb. Okay, so what this initdb does, it will initialize your cluster. Okay, and this is my data directory. So you are telling you have to initialize your cluster under this data directory -d, and this is your data directory. So when you do this installation of your cluster, what it will do, it will create all your default templates. I mean, default databases, default configuration files, default wall files. It will create all the default template of your cluster. Okay, if you go here, the data directory, so far there is nothing right here. Now when you do initialize of your cluster, in the data directory, you could see all your necessary directories inside this. Okay, like it will have the data files, it will have the val files, it will have the configuration files, everything it will have. Okay? So that we'll see it. Now what I'm doing, I'm just going to Postgres. Okay, even let me grant the ownership.
So this is for starting the database instance.
This is to initialize the cluster, and then we are going to start the cluster. So pgctl is used to start your cluster. So here we have defined pg data is one of the variable, okay, which we already configured in the bash profile usually. So in that bash profile, we have already defined what is a pg data. This is the pg data path actually. So the first step, what it will do, it will initialize the cluster. So it will initialize your cluster. Initialize the cluster means it will create all the template of your databases and your wall files, your configuration files. And by using pgctl, we are going to start our Postgres cluster with the start option by pointing out your data directory. Okay, so that we are doing now. Okay, so let's do it manually. Okay, from Postgres user. Sorry. So in the Postgres user, we know that we have bash profile, which we already set in the Fort script. Here you could see that this is our binary path, and this is my data path, pg data. If I do echo $pg data, okay, this is my pg data. Now what I'm doing, I'm going to initialize the cluster with the help of this utility. Sorry, somehow my mouse is behaving differently. Okay. So in the binary location, you have a utility called initdb, which will initialize your cluster. Okay. Before you initialize the cluster, this particular folder should be empty. Okay. So when I do initialize, if you see here, okay, let me go a little bit up what it is doing exactly. So cluster will be initialized with local. This is character set. By default, it will be like universal character set UTF-8. If you want to change the character set, you have to define here itself. For example, if you do initdb -help, you will have so many options. If you want to if you want to change the character set, or if you want to change any other settings, okay, you can use in the initdb option. Okay, for example, here is local settings. Okay, so local settings. You can change this based on your character set, like based on your client requirement, you can change the local as well. But by default, it's a universal character set. It will accept all the languages. Okay, no need to worry about it. Okay. Now what we did, we have initialized the cluster by using initdb, and it is telling if you want to start your cluster, you can start. And also you can just go and see what it is doing. Fixing the permission on existing pg data location. If you see in the pg data, it is going to fix the permission. I think it will give 755. Okay. And it has created all the subdirectories under the pg data home. And it has given the default configuration file, default settings. For example, if you see this parameter max underscore connections by default 100, shared buffer default value is 128. It will allocate all the default parameters for the cluster, and then it will initialize the cluster. So now to start your cluster, we can just use pgctl start -d pg data. Okay, so this is the command to start your cluster. So here you no need to mention full path because we already set the bash profile. If you're not setting the bash profile, you have to point out this full path, binary location, bin binary, pgctl start. And pg data, we already know it. Okay, so when you initialize the cluster, if you go to the pg data location before I start the cluster, pg data, and here you have ls-ltr. These are all subfolders which it has created. Okay, like pg table space, okay, and you have pg wall, okay, and you have global base. So don't worry about this all subfolders. We will explain each one by one. You have PostgreSQL.conf, which is a parameter file, and you have HPA.conf, which is as discussed, Postmaster will check the authentication based on this file. Okay, all files will resides under the pg data. Okay, We will explain each and every folder. Don't worry about it. So for now, we need to just concentrate on how to start the cluster. So I have started my cluster. Okay, server is started. When I do ps minus grep post or Postgres. Okay, you could see here. This is the supervisor process. Okay, this is the postmaster process. And this is the checkpointer, background writer, wall writer. And auto vacuum launcher, okay, logical replication launcher. So these all things, you don't worry about this thing, okay, we will discuss in the replication. These all parameters we already know, okay, what checkpointer will do, what background writer will do, what wall writer will do, okay. So this psql is the command to connect your Postgres cluster, okay. Now you can see which version we have installed. So we have installed 15.6 version. So this is how you can install the Postgres cluster with the source method. Any questions here before we go to the M installation method?
Yeah, one question. We have only installed the cluster, but we have not installed any, we have not created any databases yet, right?
No, by default you will get, okay, so by default you will get template databases. So these are the databases. You have Postgres database, you have template 0, template 1. So by default when you initialize the cluster, you will get these template databases. Later point of time, you have to create your own customized databases based on the client requirement. So we will explain each and every database, what these default databases will do. Postgres, temp0, temp1. Okay, each has its own functionality. We will explain in the next module. By default, you will get these databases. Even by default, you will get these table spaces, PG default, PG global. Okay. So when you initialize the cluster, we will get this default.
Here we are using the community version, right? So is there any command we can check whether we install the community version or the enterprise version?
Not a command actually. If you just do list of databases, you will get in a community, you will get only these 3 databases. But if you choose EDB, you will also get one more extra databases EDB thing. And even when you do select version here, it will, even when you connect to psql also, it will display here. It is enterprise edition. Okay, you will get a different kind of view here. Yes.
Okay,
So what is the difference between community and enterprise? Basic differences?
Basic difference is community is an open source. Okay, in enterprise edition, they have took the source code of this community and they added new functionalities like in terms of monitoring, security, and Oracle compatible. Main is Oracle compatible features. If you want to migrate and your databases from Oracle to Postgres, you will get good rich features in enterprise edition, which is not there in the community. Okay, and the remaining things is same. The base source code is this one only, community. They have added new features to it. That's it. So, and one more thing is you will get good support from them. Okay, like Oracle, if you have any issues, you will raise an SR, you will get the support. But from community, you don't get any support kind of thing. You have to just send an email. We don't know how many days they will reply or they will fix that issue. We are not sure because it's an open source. We don't get any support kind of thing. If you have any bugs or if you face any issues, DBA should fix those kind of things. If you choose EDB version, you are paying to them, you are getting support, and you are also getting some extra functionalities apart from this. So what are those functionalities you will understand in the coming classes. Okay, what features you will get from EDB, like monitoring tools you will get, okay? And it will also support all the compatible functionalities, compatible functionality in the sense, example, if you, in Oracle, if you think about DBMS packages, because in Postgres, DBMS packages will not support. So this kind of functionality, so many Oracle rich functionalities you will get in EDB.
Yeah, so actually like you can see if you think about the cloud or like if you compare EDB and the cloud, any cloud vendors or maybe community version, okay? If you want to achieve any functionality which you are using in Oracle system, okay, so For that, okay, you need to add some extensions to get like, means the most of the extensions we are using, if you're using community version of the PostgreSQL or vanilla version of the PostgreSQL, but if you like take the license from the enterprise, that EDB or second quadrant, okay, the both are same now, okay, okay. So then you will get almost very rich functionalities as Suresh said, okay. So the functionality which already having in legacy database systems, okay, all those rich functionalities, almost all is available with help of the enterprise, okay, EDP or second quadrant, okay. On top of that, okay, so we are paying for the license, okay. The support, okay, the support that like providing to you is like next level. But in community version, if you have any doubts, okay, they will provide the support, but it is not based on the SLA. Okay, there is no response that you will get. Like suppose I have the P1 issue, okay, this is my SLA. There is no definition of SLAs with community. But with enterprise, yes, you have the SLAs, okay, based on your agreements with the companies, okay. So you will get the support from EDB.
Yeah. So basically organizations will choose which depends on the criticality of application and their resources. If they have good knowledge resources, DBS, expert DBS, they don't need to go to, enterprise kind of thing, right? Because in community only they are going to handle each and everything. And if your application is very critical and if you like the functionalities of EDB, then definitely company will choose the enterprise. Okay, so yeah, then probably the next installation, M installation, probably we can catch in the next session. Okay, so this is we'll share the lab manual how you have to configure this source code installation. You please try to practice on the top of Linux. Okay. Any questions?
Hey, one question. Is there any option to not to get these template databases when we are doing the initialization?
No, there is no option because by default you will get these template databases. Because when you are creating a new database, this template database will help you based on this template databases only. It will create the new databases. It's
these are very important databases. You will see like what is the importance of this template databases. Okay, leave about Postgres, okay, and leave about even you can leave about template 1 also. Okay, but template 0 is the very important template databases. Okay, why? What is the main use of this? You will see in future classes. Okay. I think tomorrow we can plan for the half. Okay, we can make it as a 4 days. Okay, even we are like overloaded, guys. Okay, so 4 days we can plan. Okay, is it okay for everyone?
Yeah, fine for me.
Okay, so we can make it like Monday to Thursday. Okay, and related to these databases and everything, we can discuss on Monday. Okay, you will get the better understanding, Malati. What is the use of template 0? What is the template? What is Postgres? Okay, how we can create the our customized databases. Okay, so you will get a better understanding.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think we are not using for the Postgres template 0, template 1 for our customer or client databases.
No.
This
you will not at all use. Okay, but what is the use of while you are creating customized databases? Okay, for our application use. Okay, what is the use of creating those databases with help of these template databases? You will get a better understanding once we started explaining. Okay.
Yeah, and this architecture is similarly like PDB CDB architecture. Okay, so you have default CDB root, right? PDB seed. So this kind of template database. Similarly, here also we have Postgres template 0 and template 1. We'll discuss each and every thing what it does. Okay, when you create a new database, what it happens in the backend. So we'll discuss. Don't worry about these things. Yeah. Okay. So that's it.
One other question with reference to 4 days. Is this going forward? It will be weekly 4 days or only for next week?
Actually, we can plan. Okay, so currently, me and Suresh is overloaded with a lot of things. Okay, that is the reason we given just 1 day break. Okay. So it is not like throughout the session we are doing like that. Okay, if you want us to take even weekends also to continue for 7 days, okay, in some cases we will take it. Okay, so it is like flexible from our side. Okay, if you are okay, so even we can plan in different ways. Okay.
Yeah, for now, for now temporarily, like tomorrow we are taking off because we have some other things as well. So you try to please do the practical things, and probably Monday we will catch up on the remaining things. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sure. Suresh, one question. Please provide those scripts as well, because if you
Sure.
installed all this in the same script now, so if you would install the single one by one, then it would be more easily understandable. So
Sure.
please provide that 5 script as well. So inside the content, that what is
We
there. So
will
we can,
definitely we will share with you. This is for you guys. Okay. We will share.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So after the installation, we can't able to drop the template database as well, right? Even if it is no longer needed, like in the Oracle PDB is a mandatory one, right? Likewise, the template 0 and template 1 also is mandatory one.
Template 1 you can drop, but not template 0. Template 0 is very important. Template 0 is to protect the template 1 and Postgres. Okay, so we should not drop this. If you drop this template 0, then your entire cluster will go. So it will not work. Okay, so this is important database. Okay.
Okay.
One question. Because I installed in Windows Postgres 16. So there I can see only one under the cluster. I can see only one Postgres only, but template 0, template 1, I could not.
Okay, if you connect with PG admin or any graphical tools, it will show only Postgres. It will not show template 0 and template 1. Unless you connect to that database server, it will show. So this database will not list if you connect from any PG admin or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Abhishek, like one suggestion is okay. So you can do the maximum experiments on Linux machine, and also you can do the maximum experiments, and you can read the maximum documentation from PostgreSQL.org. Why? Because this is the base one. Okay, this is the base one. If you dig into this concept, okay, if you do practicing on Linux, okay, and if you're reading the documentation from community PostgreSQL, okay, you are able to crack. It may be Enterprise DB, okay, it may be Cloud SQL, any flavor of database. It means Postgres on any flavor of the cloud. Okay, it is easy understanding for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Please provide that link as well, so the document link, so that I can go through and.
Yeah, just like PostgreSQL.org, you can
Okay.
You can go in.
Okay.
Even that site consists of all the documentations as well. So you just go through it, how it looks like, this website. You just try to explore each and every link there, and you can just understand how things work there.
Okay.
And one more last question, like Suresh, whatever the PPT you people are sharing, right? As you guys told, you couldn't be able to share the PPT things, but you said that you will be sharing the content of the PPT, right? Is that any notepad way or a wordpad way or giving the points with us so that we can able to refer it rather than take the notes?
As a part of lab manual, okay, there they are putting all the important points, but not each and every point, but important points, main important points. In the lab manual itself, we will keep there. Okay, so and even like
why? Because this is a confidential for us. Okay, so don't mind.
What I need to understand, like, for practical lab things, you guys going to give the manual, that I can understand. But whatever the slide information we are discussing about, if we need to take the notes for those things, we need to take by our own self. That's what you guys are trying to say, right?
Yep.
Yeah, as I told, like, we will also give some important points for each topic in the same lab manual itself. We'll also add in the starting theory content and then followed by.
What about theoretical class, Suresh? Lab class is fine. What about theoretical class? If we are going for theoretical class,
okay, like theoretical thing only. We are not going to share each and every content which we provided on the okay.
That understood.
Yeah, we will provide, okay, what are the important points from the slides.
And that's what that when we may get those things, that's what I'm asking.
That I think we confirmed during our first class. I think someone asked, right? Okay, I think Darpan or someone asked. Okay, so you guys are going to share the slides. Okay, So we said like we will share this content, okay, end of this course. But as per your request, what we will do, okay, for whenever we are sharing the slides, right? Sorry, not slides, the demo manual. Okay? During that time only, we will share the points. Okay, is it fine?
Yeah, that would be good, Raj. Thanks.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, okay, that's it we have for today. Please bear 2 hours for getting recording and demo. Okay, demo means like
Thank you.
lab manual. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.